Applying for a mortgage these days can come with an unwelcome byproduct, an onslaught of calls, texts, and emails. Where this avalanche of spam comes from, who's to blame, and how you can stop it is the topic of this video. And I'll take a little detour and let you know why this problem is especially bad right now. So you do your research and you select a lender and you apply for a loan, and the next thing you know, your phone explodes with messages from other lenders, not the one you applied with. It is weird and disconcerting and really annoying. You may get dozens of phone calls in a day. So I want to start by putting your mind at ease and telling you what didn't happen. If you're anxious that something terrible happened, your lender had a data breach or maybe sold your information, don't worry. Your data is almost certainly safe, and selling your information to other lenders would be both illegal, and if you stop to think about it for a minute, not really in your chosen lender's interest. They wouldn't want to, they want to earn your business. They don't want to violate your trust and annoy you. That doesn't really add up. So if your lender isn't to blame, where can we point the finger of blame? Well, it is the credit bureaus that are the culprit: Equifax, Experian, and Transunion. And the issue is something called trigger leads. Trigger leads are lists of consumers that are created by the credit bureaus and then sold to financial services companies. And it's more than mortgage lenders that buy these lists. If you have good credit, you open up your mailbox and you probably have, on a pretty regular basis, credit card offers. These are not random junk mail. It's another form of trigger lead. Junk mail is arguably, unless you're a tree, I guess, less obnoxious. So to save a tree, watch to the end of the video and I'll help you get off trigger lead lists for good. And if along the way you learn something of value, please like and subscribe. It'll help our channel and trees grow. So if you stop to think about it, the credit bureaus have this crazy amount of information about you. Anything that you've ever entered onto an application for a credit card, for a car loan, for a mortgage, any other loan winds up in their database. They know your phone number, your email, your age, where you live, where you work, and on and on. We spend a lot of time these days talking about the data that the internet giants have, Google and Facebook and so on. But the credit bureaus really pioneered the collection and monetization of data. Equifax was actually founded in 1899. You can really think of credit reports as the credit bureau's main gig, and then selling trigger leads as a bit of a lucrative side hustle. And when a mortgage company or any other company wants to set up and purchase a trigger lead list, they can filter by most of the parameters on a credit report. Your credit score, your zip code, when you last made a late payment or that you've never made a late payment, whether or not or how much other debt you have, most any aspect of your credit history, including, and importantly to this topic, credit inquiries, can go into that profile that they create. And it's the credit inquiry that you had, your request for a mortgage with your chosen mortgage lender, that has your phone ringing off the hook. The fact that you applied for a mortgage makes you a prime target for these call center-based mortgage lenders. And I should add that although trigger leads are not a new thing, in fact, they're nowhere near new, they've been around for years, they're especially bad right now. From 2020 through early 2022, mortgage companies were popping up like mushrooms, interest rates were at record low levels, and if you had a mortgage, you wanted to refinance. And so the mortgage company expanded to take care of this huge volume of business. And then interest rates went back up and loan volumes dropped by about in half. And the mortgage industry needs to shrink to align with that smaller volume of business. When it finally finds that kind of better balance and calibration, then calls from mortgage telemarketers should ease up a bit. But in the meantime, there are some things that you can do. First, although the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau considers trigger leads to be a legal practice, not everyone thinks it should be. A representative from New York, Richie Torres, has introduced a bill to ban trigger leads. And in an interview, he asked, should businesses have the right to share your personal information without your knowledge and consent? If your answer to his question is no, and you're annoyed enough to be bothered, you could write your representative and ask them to sign on to Representative Torres's bill. But that isn't going to fix the issue in the short term, so the more immediate solution is to sign up at optoutprescreen.com. This registry is like a do not call list, but for trigger leads. There's a link in the description below. Once you're signed up at Opt Out Prescreen, you won't be on future trigger lead lists. Unfortunately, it could take a few weeks for registration to go through. So your phone isn't going to stop ringing immediately, but this will fix the issue for good and, you know, in the future for good. You'll be off of all trigger lead lists. And I suppose the trees will also thank you. You'll notice way less junk mail. All of those pre-screened credit card and other credit solicitations should go away. And in the interim, you might want to also check your phone settings. Most phones have an option to silence unknown callers and send them straight to voicemail. Apple even has an iPhone app that'll cross-check incoming calls against third-party spam apps and then let you set up a label for them, like spam or telemarketing or go away, or maybe your ex's name if you want to be really sure you're not going to pick up. And while we're on the topic of credit and credit inquiries, be sure to check out this video. In it, I use my own credit report to demonstrate the impact a credit inquiry has on your credit score. I'm not going to spoil the surprise. You have to watch the video to check it out. Thanks for watching this video, and hope to see you in the next one.